Yo, what up? This is Ribe, and I got a quick little sample breakdown here for you guys off my latest release, Smuggled Keys Volume 12. The sample is called Knife. I wrote this at 80 BPMs, and it only contains two VSTs, and the rest are all analog hardware. So let's go ahead and get into this one and see, where my mind was at here with this composition. I'm gonna go ahead and play it first, and then I'll get through breaking it down. All right, so that's the composition, and let's get started here on the first track. So the first track is just so that's just some random guitar licks going through the Universal Audio Dream 65 amp pedal, and then that's going into the Roland Space Echo RE201. And then the second track, which would be here starting at the ninth bar. So it's just a simple little guitar melody, and that's just running through the Dream 65 pedal. So this is the same as this track right here. It's just a guitar running through the Dream 65 pedal and the Roland Space Echo with, EQ just to kind of cut out the low end and the harsh high end frequencies. And now for the next track. So that is the Moog grandmother going through the Roland Space Echo, but I'm just using the reverb, just slight reverb on there, and also the spring reverb from the grandmother, because that also has its built-in spring reverb. Um, so let's see here. And then this low end here is from from the Moog grandmother as well. So it's nothing crazy. It's just one note, but I'm giving it kind of like a slow attack with some EQ, just kind of EQ out those harsh frequencies. And then this is the first VST here, which I believe are It's from Omnisphere, which is super dope. Okay, so it's a Rhodes. I'm gonna play that. Okay, so this is definitely going through some effects. You know, some EQ, just to EQ, trying to give it a little bit of more cleaner sound. And I'm going through this API cue from Universal Audio, just slight tweaking. And then the Teletronics LA2A compressor, just to kind of tame it. Sometimes it doesn't even do anything, but it gives it no compression. But I just like running it through here because it does give it some texture still. As you can see, it's just very, very light, almost no compression, but it still gives it some texture. All right, and for the next VST, it's the Mellotron. From Arturia. I love this plugin. By the way, if you have the Arturia Analog Lab, you can pick up my Analog Lab banks on the website, smuggledaudio.com. I have 3 lab banks already with, custom tweaked sounds and sampled sounds too. So definitely want to check that out. Let's play these Mellotron strings here. Play that back now. So those strings, just in EQ to cut out the low end. I always keep this in mind when you start stacking tracks, is you want to start cutting the low end on most of the tracks, except obviously the bass, because then that low end starts building up. The Mellotron, I believe it does have some effects within the plugin. Oh, I guess not. Just some room reverb. That's about it. And I probably did some tweaking up here, like added some flutter, some little bit of tape saturation. I messed with the tone knob probably. And then these strings are from the Sequential Circuits 6-track. All right, so it's pretty obvious. I do have a delay on that, which is going through the Roland Space Echo. So it's a 6-track going through that, and then I just cut the low end again right here, and that's it for this composition as far as tracks. Now, for the master, this is no secret to anyone, but I do have the Waves sound shifter. So I'm going to play the sample without it, and then I'm going to play it with it. So basically what this does is it pitches up the sample 3 semitones without changing the tempo. So I'm going to take it off. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back on. Yeah, it's a pretty dope plugin. It doesn't always work, but it does come through sometimes, and it just, sometimes just pitching up a sample like that, a few semitones, can make it sound pretty dope. And then I got RC20 Retro Color by XLN Audio, and I have it on the Vinyl 3 plugin. I probably tweaked this a bit. I never really just used the plugin and just leave it there. I always tweak it from there. This is highly recommended if you want to make samples. I put this on, I would say 98% of my compositions. I put this on the master track. Sometimes I don't keep it at 100%. I probably, maybe sometimes I'll just add a little bit, maybe 25, 30%, just to kind of give it a little bit of flavor. But yeah, I always use that. And then the Arturia Tape Mellow-Fi, which is actually a slept-on plugin. Pretty much it's the same thing as RC20, but it's their own version. I'm going to play the sample with these bypass. That way you can see the difference, hear the difference. So yeah, as you can hear, it does warm up the sound a bit, kind of makes it a little bit more lo-fi, I guess you could call it. And then after this is all mixed, which this is the full mix, I would bounce it to tape, bounce it back from the tape back into Logic, and then add a little bit of EQing and throw a limiter on it to master it. And that would be it. So, like I said, this is just a quick little breakdown just to kind of show you guys how I create. So, again, this is off Smuggled Keys Volume 12. Hit up smuggledaudio.com. Get the pack. Give me some feedback, whatever. Hit me up on Instagram, YouTube. That's going to be it for today. Peace.